All right, Brian. All right, the owl is finally doing its owly best. So I'm gonna call us to order. And it is 6:07. All right, the first thing we have is citizen comments. And we do not have any citizens. So we will go on to our next agenda item, which is to consider approval of the minutes from June 12th, 2025, and take appropriate action. Those are emailed to you in advance, so if you caught any errors or mistakes, you could let us know. We can fix them before we get to hearing now. But if you see something now, please let us know.
I was absent at that meeting, so you guys are.
I mean, Tara took really good notes, or Ryan and Tara, yeah, took really good notes last time, so I think I motion to approve.
All right,
Second.
so Zach motions and
John Paul.
seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. I can't write and talk, or I'll start writing what I'm saying. All right, so our next order of business is the trustee report from our ever diligent and faithful trustee, Lee.
We forgot to do it, but I did it on the day.
That's all right. Is it, you're here, it's here, we're doing good.
I got in under the wire. But- No, during the legislative session, we followed some bills that were impacting library operations, both in public libraries and in the school libraries. And I just did a final report. If you haven't used Legiscan, if you're looking for a piece of legislation that's going through, they will alert you when something and it moves through the system. But one was to prohibit minors from sexually explicit materials. What they were going to do is do a civil penalty on the librarian. And that one did not ever make it out of the committee process. It may show up again. We don't know. The other one was the authority to financially support the American Library Association, which is really the main professional organization for librarians in the country. And they didn't want to use somebody didn't want to use public funds for that. That one never made it to the floor. The Senate Bill 13 was the school one that you may have read about, where all materials that are purchased for the school have to be made public a certain amount of time before the budget meeting. And they have to have each school has to have a committee, and there has to be a district committee that looks at every title and gives their thumbs up, thumbs down on things. That gets implemented, I think, September 1, but schools are working to put policies and procedures in place. Just as a former principal, I'll editorialize a tiny speck to say, can you imagine how many library books of the high school I worked for bought every year, and how difficult that's going to be for a committee to review?
And they're also having to look now at classroom libraries.
Yeah.
So not just the library, but the
Yeah,
ones that are put in the classroom for the, they just haven't figured out how they're going to
Yeah,
track those.
I think it's gonna take a little while to put policies and procedures in place for that one. That one did pass and the governor signed it, so. And this special session, who knows, I haven't spotted anything about libraries, but it may go on like a bird with extensions. If I see anything, I will let you know. And then, one of the things that trustee does is try to keep up with trends and issues and innovative programming really around the world, in the United States, in Texas, for libraries. And I found one research article that, and this is also a little bit of a repeat of what the last few reports have been. So what they're wrestling with, people either in academic libraries or in public libraries, are the ethical issues with artificial intelligence, access to technology, and some of the things they worry about is like the algorithms that are used, like there's a lot of really cute programming where you can put in information, then it'll give you a list of books that would be good for you to check out. There's bias in those algorithms, and how to guard and protect from bias is tricky. And then the other big issue, and I'm just summarizing, is the training issue. Because a lot of people that go through library science or that are running libraries are not necessarily the same people that are studying artificial intelligence.
Right.
And they've looked a lot at the operational parts that AI can do, but there's a lot of other issues with that. And so keeping a staff trained, because there's not a lot of training because it's so new, or finding people to hire in that have a background. So what they said are happening, you have to kind of go multidisciplinary and start hooking up with tech companies, tech organizations that are advanced in that area and work with them in this kind of a partnership to be able to stay abreast of what's going on. But it's so fast, and I think academic libraries are worried about it and keeping up, and public libraries are having the same kind of issue. That's just one to watch, and I'll give you the links for all the articles. Then the last one was just fun. Since we finished our summer reading, there was a summer reading program in Ann Arbor, Michigan, which is like 4 times bigger than Palm Springs, I will say. And they have like a store with library bling and, all kinds of things. But they expanded their summer reading program, and now about 40% are adults. I said the most popular group that participates all summer are women in age of 50, in their 50s and 60s.
Oh, interesting.
And what they have, you still have the reading contests,
Right.
but it's other library usage things that they promote. So you have to go to the library website, and then the library plants stuff around, so you have to go to other. And I know, Robert shared a lot of cooperation with Parks and Rec, with Historical Park, they have to go into certain neighborhoods that they may not have gone into. It's kind of like a scavenger hunt.
Oh, how fun.
That you have to go through the library to do. So I just found it interesting because we've wrestled with, in another group I'm in with the city, with what would appeal to the younger adults, the 20s, 30s, whatever. And some of this looked like it'd be fun. I bet they'd share manageables. Of course, if you win, you get to go to the store and pick out t-shirts and stuff. I don't think we're gonna be there, and they're probably one of those libraries that has a coffee shop and everything. Which we're not gonna go there either.
So you can earn points to.
You can earn points and then you can trade it for bling, and they have a little stuffed animal of the year, and this year was a flamingo, and that's like the premier thing is to.
Is to get the
whatever.
flamingo?
Huh?
To get the flamingo
To
with
get
like
the
the top
flamingo.
tier prize. That's funny. Well, I mean, I guess you could get donations from places and then you could turn the points in for donations, from local businesses or whatever
And
for those
the
things.
city's already doing this, but I saw an opportunity to hook up with other boards and other, entities who are already pretty hooked up with Parks and Rec, and,
Yeah.
but Historical Society would be a really fun group to do some history with. So anyway, it was just, since we're ending ours, if people want to look at the article or contact us, they might have some ideas for the staff.
For next year.
summer. And that was just real quick, Arundel County and the Dover, Ohio one did a similar thing, and I don't have that written here. I just made the note from the main article. They set theirs up like a Pokemon game, and they had to go around and find, it was similar in that it was kind of a big scavenger hunt that made you not just explore the library resources, but you had to explore the whole community.
That's kind of fun.
So and they will share, theirs is up for grabs to look at, to see how they
That's
set
really
it up.
fun.
So I'm gonna read this quote. This is from the Ann Arbor Library Director. Libraries are magical. It's something that wouldn't be allowed to be created today. The technology is there. And for most communities, the library is one of the most beloved government institutions, and for local governments to be able to turn outward and embrace their communities and find completely new audiences they didn't know they were reaching, and for those audiences to discover public services that were available to them that they didn't know about. That's magic too. Like, that's my story.
I'm sorry, did you say it was the Dublin, Ohio?
It's Dover.
Dover.
Dover. Uh-huh. Dover has the Pokemon.
That's funny.
Summer
You gotta
program.
catch them all.
But the Ann Arbor one, they called the summer games.
I
And
do
it's
like that. That's
It's
fun.
like all ages.
Yeah.
It just
And it's like the
appealed.
flamingos are top prize. There's several farmers branch residents that do the flock thing, like, you know.
Oh, yeah. Like
you know,
the yard.
Team up with them and them, and like if you're like maybe the top two, when they announce it, they can flock your yard.
Yeah.
You know, you were the winner of the library contest or something like that.
How funny. That
So anyway, I thought that was.
That's just, yeah, to get it, because the city did do, there was like a passport farmers branch
Yeah,
that they did back in May.
It's already moving in that direction.
But it's something, but that was more like businesses. This is more geared towards city services and
Right.
facilities and things.
And I
so
think
that-
there are a lot of people that don't know what's here.
Yeah.
You know, and what you can take advantage of.
Especially there's been a lot of people who've moved in the last few years. They don't quite know exactly what they're living in.
Anyway, that might be.
That's fun. All right, our next thing is we are going to review a couple of city ordinances that pertain to our board. Especially because we have quite a few new board members and a new library director. So these are just, we had bylaws, but, we're the only board that has bylaws. And our bylaws look a lot like the ordinance that makes our board exist. So we're just gonna review the ordinance. And so it just has, in general, what we do. Our job is to advise the city council, kind of act as a bridge between the residents and city council about what they would like to see. Is there anything you would like to add, Robert?
No,
Our
well,
role?
yeah, the next, I think you hit it right on, and I'm Robert Diaz, I'm the Parks and Rec Director, so to give you guys the other new. So library, even though we have a contract with LSS, the library contractor, it kind of falls in a Parks and Rec department. So, I work directly with the director, with Tracy and Sue, and, and then they're under our bridge. We help pay all their bills and all that good stuff. And I also have facilities in Parks and Rec, which is really good because there's all any facility issues now, will come through my department as well. So we're kind of all in the same umbrella, which really helps too, as well, because all the other city, like the rec center, the pool and all that, we have facilities. So, but just to give, so like Kristen was saying, there was a set of bylaws that had been, and when I started reviewing the bylaws and what's actually in the ordinance, so every board has this outline in the ordinance. So the ordinances have already been approved by council. So what I thought, it was kind of repetitive to take bylaws to get approved when we already have this in place. So, this is, and I won't read everything, but it really just gives you, like Kristen said, your charge, what you're here for, why you're here. And, I just wanted to kind of get everybody on the same page since we had some new members, kind of
We're
where.
so grateful for. There were just 5 of us and everybody had to be there all the time. We're so glad you're here. You have no idea. That's my thing.
So just, if you get a chance to look those over, and then the ordinance numbers are, in here as well. If you go into Muni Code, which is off the city website, all our city ordinances are there. So, and I think, yeah, Kristen talked to kind of the highlight of, why you're here. You're an advisory board that, advises, council on any issues pertaining to the library, basically. And so, anyway, I think that's it. Unless anyone has any questions, we just wanted to kind of review that with you all and just kind of let you know kind of where you are and why you're here. Hey, good deal.
Okay. The next item on our agenda is to review ordinance 3874, and this is just the attendance ordinance that basically says you, for our board, what this breaks down to is you have 2 absences for your term, so terms start July 1st, they end June 30th. And so over that course of time, you can miss 2 meetings. If you miss a 3rd meeting, then that is essentially you turning in your letter of resignation and you'll be removed from the board by the city. So keep that in mind. We always, at the end of our meetings, will say, hey, here's when the next 2 meetings are slated to be. And we'll work with people's conflicts, because one time it was like in the middle of spring break. And we're like, that is not a good time to have a board meeting. People like to go places on spring break.
They're typically on Thursdays.
Typically on Thursdays, so our meetings are typically the 2nd Thursday of the month. We meet for 5:30 at dinner and our meeting starts at 6. We do not meet in July or December because people are very busy in those months. Any questions?
The library too.
And the library too, especially with summer reading, there's a lot going on, and all the Christmas stuff, cookies with Santa, things like that, so. Any questions about that one? Great. What's next? Conduct officer elections, okay.
You want everybody to.
Yeah, let's introduce ourselves before we go into officer elections, so you're not like blindly doing because that would be crazy. But here's also just what the offices are, just so you know kind of what we're getting into. We have three offices, and they are the board chair, which I am, the board vice chair, which Paul is, and the secretary, which Zach is, but the secretary doesn't really have a role anymore because the city would like city staff to be taking all the minutes for the meetings. So really, the job of the secretary is like being the 10th person in line to be president. So if Paul and I were both out, then the secretary would run the meeting. And you're also just like backup notes, in case you feel like something's missing from the meeting.
Do we have to
From the minutes.
rotate you out, or
No, I've been in this for quite some time.
we can
So
vote you back?
you can vote me back in. There's no term limits, unlike real life, for this job. So that's it. Then Lee has been our trustee, and that is a volunteer position. I would like to be the trustee, and your job is just to go find interesting things going on in the world of libraries to share with us, which I think is great because it gives us ideas for what we can be doing here, what people are doing elsewhere. And Lee did a great job of kind of following our local politics, our state politics with bills and things that would affect what we're able to do here. So those are kind of our offices. So I'll start. I'm Kristen Hansen. This is my, I think, 5th year on this board, and it is my last year because I will have you can term out of that. I have been our board chair for probably the last 3 years or so. Lived in Farmers Branch for 15 years. So I have 3 kids. I'm a teacher. We live just across Webb Chapel, so I used to pull my kids here in like a radio flyer wagon when they were little, and now they ride their bikes on their own because they're teenagers. So that's me. You wanna go next?
Paul Dioma, and I've been on for 1.5 years,
2 years?
2 years.
Yeah, sounds about right.
and I'm retired, taught for 30-some years at Trinity in San Antonio. I live up Webb Chapel,
Mhm.
Off Oak Brook. And got into this because I wanted something to do. My wife's being driven crazy, so. That's it.
My name is Zach Thompson. I live over by Marsh at Ridge Oak, that east side. I've been on the board for 2 years, more than
Yeah.
2.5, 2-ish. And I'm a nurse over at UT Southwestern, and I do I love the city. So I use a lot of the equipment that's in the innovation zone.
My name is Stacy Baker. I live over, I went from Coral Harbor to Apple Valley, which was a big move of 4 streets. But, and I teach, you do this one, I teach over at Farmers Branch Elementary. 38 years teaching at Blair and Montgomery, and then they moved us down the street. Yeah, consolidating schools. And, I teach pre-K, and so I hang around the children's lit most of the time. So I think I'm safe in my classroom library at the moment. Unless Piggy and Elephant get controversial. So. Never know,
You never know.
not with Elephant. Carol can be.
Mhm. Right, Neil,
Neil, you're
you're
next.
on deck.
Oh, okay, I'm the newbie. Alternate. Neil Thomas, I've lived in Farmers Branch for something like 20 years. And it's a great city. It's just, people don't understand what we have here. It's pretty amazing. And so I volunteered because I come to the library regularly. So I thought, be on the board. I was on the board probably 10 years ago when we called the Farmers Branch Senior Center, but we don't use that anymore. It's the Farmers Branch Connection,
Yes.
right? So, and that was interesting. And funny enough, we got food there too.
Yeah.
I'm Lee Alvoyd. That's Kathy, that's my money name, money and medical, I say. But I've always gone by my middle name. This is my second term on the board, and I mostly we moved here in 74.
Oh, wow.
And have been in the same house on Palmdale Circle, Brookhaven. My husband's an attorney. And I worked in the school district for many, many years. I was a teacher, central office administrator, principal. I was principal at Perry and Smith for the last 2 years. 2 term gigs that I had. Then I went to SMU and helped them start their school of education in 2003.
Yeah.
I had a lot of interaction with libraries all the way through that, library budgets as a principal, library use as a teacher. Had a lot of work to do with a new school at the university, making sure they had what the research faculty needed. So I just liked libraries. I grew up in them, and we didn't have much money, and that's what I did. So this would really appeal to me. And I'll be honest, the current controversies about books and libraries was an attraction to me to maintain the mission of a public library. Serves everyone.
My name is Dawn Calzada. I've lived in Farmers Branch for about 15 years, and I've been a patron of the library for a long time, all my life. I've loved libraries, so, and I wanted to get more involved in the community because I've lived here but haven't really done anything here. And a friend of mine, David, was a board member, and he moved and he suggested this would be a good fit for me, so here I am.
So if you talk to him, tell him, please say hi.
Yeah, well.
My name is Paul Schultz. I've lived in the Dallas area for about 25 years. Lived in Farmers Branch about 1.5 years. I lived south of 635. I didn't really know about the town at all and love it now. And I wanted to get involved with the town. My mother had worked at a library for years, so I'm trying to honor her, I suppose. So I'm in accounting and finance is my background, so.
Would you like to introduce yourself to everybody, since you're new to all of us? We're all new to you and you're new to all of us. And this is Sue. Sue's the director of LS&S in this region of the country.
Nice to see you all. You'll see me about once a quarter. I'll pop in it, but you'll see me monthly if you'll have me on Zoom.
I'm glad Sue's here. She's awesome. I'm Tracy Craigbaum. I'm from Minnesota, and we moved here fairly recently. My husband works for National Life just down the road in Addison, and he's a lawyer, and we moved here for family. He went to SMU, and his family is here. I have a library background, surprise, and I did my education in Ohio, where I'm from. I have to look up Dover. I can't place it in my head right now. And, and then went back to school, my kids were little and got my doctorate and taught for 5 years, just adjunct in a library school. And then went to K-12 for a while in Minnesota, got my administrator's license and oversaw adult education for 6 years. And when this opportunity came up, I just thought it would be amazing. So I'm really excited to be here. I love Texas for starters. I never want to see another like 10-day span of negative.
I was like, how are you gonna
Negative
finish that sentence? Because we could provide you with a 10-day span of something.
Right?
Apple's so nice.
It's nice. We have 2 kids. We have a daughter at Kansas State and a son who's starting at Collin College. Yeah, I just love Farmers Branch. One of my first days working here, we were at the July 3rd event in the historical park. And I made my husband become a volunteer and we were both out there. And I'm like, isn't this the nicest community ever? The people are so wonderful. So, thank you for your interest in libraries. And I cannot wait to work with all of you and hear all of your amazing ideas. And I'm already so impressed with all of these homework that she brought today. So,
Let's introduce.
Yeah, Tara.
I'm Tara Bradley. I'm the parks planner. My background is in land use planning and now I'm learning about park planning as well too. And so I'm usually here with you all on these Thursdays. And so I've been working for Farmers Branch for about 10 months now. So and I'm enjoying it. So I'm just excited to be here.
So Tara will be, if I can't make it to every meeting, Tara we'll have a card representative at every meeting. So either myself or Tara or both of us will be, like today, we're both here today, but, because Parks and Rec has 5 boards. So I kind of try to visit most of them when I can. So we have Park Board, Library Board, Senior Advisory Board, Historical Park Board, and Arts and Culture Committee. So I've got various staff that liaison on different boards, but so Tara will kind of help on this one and you might see either I or her and, anyway, so we love having we like our relationship with LSS. That's been 10 years, more than 10, right?
10, yeah.
10 plus years.
As long as I lived in the city.
And I will say it's a unique relationship. Both cities operate their own library systems. And so, I know you have 2 other communities in this area? Was it Red Oak?
In the Dallas, Fort Worth area, we have, Duncanville, Wilmer, Red Oak, and Farmers Branch. And we're also, Huntsville out near Houston.
And you have how many libraries across the country though? You guys manage?
A lot.
A lot.
Yes, yeah, hundreds, yeah.
Good deal.
All right, so now we're here. It's time to nominate officers. So just like before, we kind of do like a Robert's Rules of Order situation. So if someone wants to nominate somebody, you nominate them. There has to be a second. Once we've finished all the nominations for a particular office, then we'll vote. You won't hurt anyone's feelings. So, and then we'll move on to the next thing, and then we'll move on with the rest of our meeting. So we'll start with chair, and we'll open the floor for nominations for chair.
I nominate you.
Paul nominates Kristen.
I'll second.
Okay. And Zach seconds. Any other nominations for chair? I should explain also what that job does. So you have to go twice a year to a meeting with all of the chairs for all of the boards with mayor and city council. It's in the evening. It used to be in the middle of the day and quarterly, but now it's twice a year and in the evening, so it's much friendlier. And then you give it used to be biannual, but now it's annual presentation before council, just kind of on what the board's been up to, and you're filling them in on what people are asking you about, what you might need going into budget season, and finding out from them what they want you to be doing. It's a 2-way street. So anyway, all right, any other nominations? Other nominations for chair? No? Okay.
Close the nomination.
I close the nomination. Then if you would like to vote for me, all in favor of Kristen as the chair? Aye. All opposed? Great, Kristen is the chair. All right. All right, vice chair. Opening the floor for nominations for vice chair.
I'll nominate John Paul.
All right, so Lee has nominated John Paul.
So rest say I second.
Yes, and Paul. Second. Okay, any other nominations? Once, going twice. Okay, so we'll close that, and we'll vote. All in favor of John Paul as vice chair? Aye. All opposed? All right, John Paul is our vice chair. All right, and now secretary. Open the floor for nominations for secretary. Okay, Stacy nominates Zach,
Second.
and John Paul seconds. Other nominations? No? Okay, then let's vote. All right, all in favor of Zach being secretary? Aye. All opposed? All right, Zach is our secretary. And then, the trustee is a volunteer position. So Lee, would you like to continue doing the job?
If
And
somebody else wants it, that's fine, but I've enjoyed it a lot because it gets me into literature and poking around. I like the political.
All right.
If somebody else is interested in doing that kind of thing, you might just get together with Lee
Yeah.
and you can do some things
Yeah,
together.
maybe we could.
But only like in a two, because we got to avoid a quorum on accident. A walking quorum is what it's called.
Yeah.
So-
Can't have more than two people.
Yeah. So, okay, so Lee will continue.
Be a co-researcher.
Yeah. Also, if you happen to come across,
Come across stuff.
yeah, if you happen to come across something interesting about libraries, like on your way here, you heard something in a podcast or on the radio or whatever. When we do the trustee report, you're welcome to say, oh, and I also heard, someone told me this interesting thing about this library. So, okay, so Lee will continue as our trustee. Fantastic. All right, patron feedback, everyone's favorite. The way we like to do this is to just, you can quietly peruse it, and then if you have questions for city staff or you want to respond about something, then the floor is open to you.
And let me just, as you guys are reading, so these comments come from a system called Listen 360. All of our outlying facilities, so the rec center, the library, the aquatic center, the senior center, and actually our customer service at City Hall. It's a system where a third party will send surveys out and then people can respond to the surveys. And we have what's called a net promoter score. So we try to get a certain score and try to maintain that. And so that all the facilities try to maintain a high score. And then all these comments and things all go toward that score. So we look at this monthly basis, don't we? This is part of the monthly.
Yeah, this is part of our meeting. We look at it every
Right.
time.
So, and there's sometimes, this is a lot of comments.
We've had more,
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you'll have one and then sometimes you'll have a lot.
several
So,
pages, yeah.
So kind of, I guess because the activity in the summer is higher, so I'm thinking that's where we have.
And
more in the
there's
summer.
There's also a place at the end of the library's weekly newsletter at the very bottom where people can click a link and then QR codes posted out here as well. But these are all very, bright, shiny reviews of the library, and I agree.
So when I read the charcoal class, more events like this, I guess like this means more art type of class.
Yeah, I would assume so. Was that a charcoal drawing class? That's cool. Yeah.
Look at the age groups though. They're all 25 to 35.
And then 46 to 55. There's an older grade at the bottom, and then somebody brought their grandson 56 to 65. And I gotta say, my 13-year-old twins they went to Mr. Dustin's story time as like lead toddler, so he's been rocking story time for a very long time. And he's so good at his job, like volunteering to get drawn on.
Are we going to be bringing Singing 101 back?
We're trying.
Okay.
We're bringing a lot more art back, but
Okay. That's just one of those ones that also kind of goes into other boards as well. So that's why I was just asking, because, you know, the theater and,
Oh, yeah, arts and culture.
yeah, so.
Singing 101 is to teach you how to sing,
Yes.
music theory, or?
No, it was like a voice coach. It was like voice lesson, how to carry a tune if you can.
He's one of my writing class,
Oh, is that who did it?
writing.
Okay. Yes, Lee is, right, what is it? There's a poetry one that you do, and then another one, like a creative writing.
It's kind of memoir, but we write other things too.
Yeah.
It's really fun. Smart group, not me.
Also, it's,
I learned from them.
when we're doing patron feedback, if your neighbor has said something to you, because they know you're on the board and they want you to like, they don't like something or they do like something or whatever, you can share that with us at this point. Or sometimes in the past, there's been a lot of loud opinions on Farmers Branch moms about things in the library. And so when people see that, they've brought it up. I'm not on social media, so I don't ever see it. So, but it's good. Yeah, so if you're in that, you can see it, yeah.
Didn't see it on the agenda. Would this be a time to maybe comment on the event?
Oh, did it not make it on our
It's on the
subcommittees? We might be getting there.
No, maybe it was the last.
But it's
No,
kind of a
it's not.
community thing.
Yeah, oh yeah, because I had some stuff from the board chair meeting that I was gonna share. We missed that one.
If not, we can do it next time.
I can still tell you all if you want to, we'll just do it after.
As long as it's only two, nothing.
Hmm?
Can't talk about it as a threesome.
Oh, that's right. Or is it four? Four.
That would.
Four is a quorum. Would be
We're not
three or
sure.
less. Okay. All right, yeah, we did forget that one on our thing. Normally, there's an item on the agenda. That's just because Lee and Stacy are on another board in the city where they're kind of trying
It's
to.
a committee.
Sorry, it's not a board, it's a
Whether
committee.
we don't have, yeah.
Yeah, it's a committee, like an ad hoc committee, where it's people from different areas of different boards in the city, looking at how to, is it aligning city events?
And also getting feedback on any event that's
Yeah.
gone on and,
Yeah.
So usually we have an item where we kind of discuss things
They
like
had an
that.
interesting one on the fireworks. One of the people on that committee was very concerned at the noise of the fireworks, so it bothers animals, and people said, well, could you take care of your dog? He goes, no, I'm not talking pets. He's talking about wildlife. animals,
Yeah,
because it bothers the birds and the
Mhm.
ducks and the raccoons and the coyotes. And
don't bother.
Put it on.
The raccoons can be bothered. They stole all my cantaloupes.
I was not gonna give any opinion, but yeah. It was an interesting comment then. Oh, that's right. You weren't there that night, Robert.
We can add it in on.
Yeah, we'll add it on.
Yeah, we'll add it on the next one.
Okay, so our next item is the library director's report. So this is where Tracy will tell us about what's going on, what has happened, what will happen.
Okay, so, well, I'm just kind of catching up with what is going on this summer. I kind of stepped into this role in the middle of summer reading, but I will tell you, summer reading was an amazing success. I'm not particularly going in order here with my statistics, but summer reading, we had a goal of collecting, those challenge cards. I don't know if anybody saw those. There were 3 different kinds of challenges. We had a goal of collecting 1,400 challenge cards, and we collected north of 2,800 challenge cards. So we thought that was just a smashing success.
Almost double.
Double, yeah.
More than, a little more than double, like 104% over our target. So Dustin was so thrilled. Everybody was so happy. It was just really great. I just kind of have some numbers out here. Next month, this report might look a little different. Actually, it probably will, where I'll put these in perspective with how we're doing over the course of the year, perhaps over a year over the next one, just to kind of see, are we increasing? How are we just doing, from a year past? So, but in general, I mean, 743 reference transactions in a month. We're a small and mighty team. So I think just numbers like that are pretty impressive. 41 library programs, is pretty amazing. And then just some snapshots here. So since since y'all last met, which was in June, a lot has taken place. We participated with the Farmers Branch Station #1 at their firehouse. We had Jeffrey Miller come in and teach. This is the charcoal drawing class. This room was packed. I saw the photos. It was just such a smashing success. And he has taught some other art classes as well. And he has agreed to come this fall and do even more. I mean, he's here often if you see him around, but just fantastic. Upcoming things, we do have an adult craft night on 8/20, which is a supply swap. So if you haven't brought things in yet to donate to swap, and you have craft supplies laying around your house, or your spouses do, or whatever, you can bring those in and then replace them with something that you want to try. We also have story time kicking back off. We're taking a break in August, and our citizenship classes start back up on September 6th. I think that is just a fantastic option for folks. Books and Brews is starting back up. This is incorrect, and I apologize. We are doing a different, our topic in September is Hispanic Heritage Month. So sorry for that typo there. Learning about backyard composting, reading to Rover therapy dog reading program happens in September, and we have a great team photo contest coming up as well. So, and there's many more. This is just what I could fit on. I also put in here, Ryan Deckett leaving. When someone comes into your office and they're going to tell you something and you don't know what it is, and you probably don't want to hear it. That's what happened when she came in and said she was something. And then this is pretty exciting. We have officially been awarded the Texas Reads grant for the Braille Enhanced Bilingual Story Walk that our last director, Heather, wrote. And so that's going to be kicking off next month in terms of being able to start spending that grant out. And it's going to be a story walk built around the 2.5-mile walk around Rawhide Park. And we will be working with a couple of different partners in Vision Dallas, which is based here in Farmers Branch. And they will be helping with the the Braille cards, and then a couple other partnerships as well. I'm just getting caught up on the grant, but I think it's going to turn out to be fantastic. And keep you updated. It should take about a year to complete.
Oh, because we have a new student at Farmers Branch that's visually impaired.
Is that right?
She's gonna be in first grade, so that'll be a good thing we can share with mom that'll be coming soon.
Yes.
Fantastic. There are 4 different stories that are going to be, well, at least 4 that we're starting out with that we're going to be traded out. So it won't be like the same thing every time you walk around. There'll be
That's
stories.
better.
Yeah, so much better. Agreed.
Just had a question with the elections that are coming up. When does that start rolling in? All of that.
So the last 2 weeks of October, and I want to say the 20th or 21st, I'm sorry, I don't have the dates in front of me, but, and then elections November 4th, I want to say. So we will be, shutting this area down so that we can have that, where our staff are already, if we have programs, we're rescheduling those and be just fine.
Awesome.
Really all I have, unless you have any questions.
So we are to our final agenda item for adjournment, which is just to discuss agenda items for future library board meetings. And I'm gonna make a note about the to put the, what did we call it, like community sharing?
And that's, oh yeah, that's something. And we have very talented people making balloon launchers out there.
Is there anything that anybody would like to bring forth or discuss? Yes.
One thing is, I really liked the library tour we got last year, which I asked for at the first meeting. So I haven't been to, I haven't been to the basement yet. We gotta go to the basement. And we found
We found a lot of
a lot
art.
of
We
artwork
did.
in the basement, and it's now up on the walls as well.
Yes.
The other thing was, my wife and I went to the Branch Connection in June sometime. They have a reading room there with, several hundred paperbacks, I think, and they look like they're pretty well organized. I went by again today to kind of refresh myself on what they had there, and the director said they could use help, not with the library, because they treat it as a, like a little free library. Take stuff home, and if you can, you bring it back. If you don't, no big deal. But, they have, what she showed me were craft materials, quilting patterns and things like that. They would like to have some way of checking them out so that people can take them and make use of them, and there's some way of ensuring they get them back. I thought maybe the library could help them with that.
That's awesome. I have a meeting coming up with their director very soon, so I'll bring that up. Yeah.
And the other thing was, maybe at the next meeting, we could go over the sort of event kinds of things we're involved with.
Yeah. You want like last year, I think at that September meeting, we had like an events calendar, things the library was doing. It was also a list of all of our meetings for the year. So you could just kind of.
I still don't know how to pronounce the name of our book.
Jolabukaflod. Jolabukaflod.
What is it? Jolly Book of Fun.
Yeah, the Happy Book Flood. It's an Icelandic tradition. It's an Icelandic word, but it's based on an Icelandic tradition. And that's the book drive that we do at Christmas because in Iceland on Christmas Eve, everyone gives everybody a book and they all sit and are cozy with a beverage, warm beverage, typically fire, cozy clothes, and they just like read all night on Christmas Eve. And so, we kind of brought that in as, one of our board members, that's not on the board anymore, but she started it. We do like a Christmas book drive and then we donate all the books to the hospital that's right there at Webb Chapel and 635.
I
And
think,
so-
didn't we last year add some to Metro Crest too, because they like to be able to give them out with the kids that were there with their parents? We thought about this.
They all went to the hospital.
Okay, because I know somebody talked about that one.
We talked about if, we were having a hard time of getting a hold of, Ben's at the hospital. And so we're saying if that didn't come through, then maybe Metro Crest might like them, because they could.
They have a little library for when the parents are there
There,
getting
yeah.
services, the kids just go in.
Yeah.
The ones.
So, but yeah, so you want a calendar of events. Anything else?
That's nice. Not a good thing.
I'll tell you a story about that sometime.
All right, let's see if my calendar will work. All right, but there we go. Maybe. All right, our next meeting is regularly scheduled for September 11th. So I know, ominous. And then the one after that would be October 9th. So those would be the next two. Does anybody have conflict? Do we need to reschedule? No, we're good. Yeah, pop into your calendar real quick. But those should be those are the next two second Thursdays.
Second Thursdays always.
Mhm.
Yeah, I should be fine.
All right, and if there is no more business. We have moved to the adjournment part of the evening.
I move that we adjourn.
Stacy moved to adjourn
I second.
and Zach seconds. All in favor?
Ah.
Aye. All right, we are adjourned at 6:56.
Thank you, new friend. Thank you.
Make sure Tracy stops.
Yes.
recording.